Hi dear friends, we are here in Corpus Christi. We are very happy to be with one of my favorite person in this entire planet, Dr. York. Thank you for having us in your home here in Corpus Christi. The weather is perfect. This home is beautiful.
Greetings, whoever you are out there. And this is a favorite couple that came up all the way from the valley to Corpus Christi by the sea. And we're having a wonderful time. One brother is playing the piano in the background, and Missy and I are here talking about
I heard about you are writing different books. You want to tell people about your books?
Well, the book that I've actually, it's a result of seminars that I did all over the world about marriage, divorce, remarriage, and dealing with people. There's been a lot of hurt people because there was a misconception in the church. You know, everybody wanted everybody to be perfect.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. So this one is called Marriage, Divorce, and Recovery.
You want to show it to the camera?
Yes. And Dr. You see that?
Yeah.
And Dr. Stock, a friend of mine, decided that he would just take all of this and put it into a book for me. Dr. Thurnace York, Ph.D. Oh my.
With Dr. Roy.
And Dr. Roy, who is a Ph.D. also.
Amen. Very qualified people. What would you tell people they're having difficulties right now in marriage? Because we know the marriage is not an easy thing to take in our life, but what make a marriage successful?
Well, first of all, they've got to care for each other and they love one another. But love is sort of a fickle thing. You know, to some people, love is sex. And love is more than that. It's bigger than sex. And it's actually caring for the person totally, with all their faults, all whether they're beautiful or ugly, or whether they're rich or poor. You know, some of the finest people that I know are just poor people. Lived with families. I've lived in Africa. I've done it in 47 nations around the world. And so many, you know, they just don't understand what's happening. And so they just zero in on themselves and I want something for me, and me. Well, that's nice. The only thing is that when you decide to get married, you're really saying, I'm going to give away a half of me. Half of me I'm going to take care of as best I can, but I'm going to enrich my life with another half that is my wife or my husband, depending on who they are. And a lot of people just don't understand. But I've been a family counselor for many, many years now, in some really desperate cases that just break your heart. And God would give you a breakthrough. Because when I ended up talking to them, I didn't, you know, some people said, well, we'll leave God out of the picture. No, they don't. You can't leave God out of the picture. They can just come to the place where they can call on the name of the Lord. You know, when my wife and I were married for 53 years, she passed away.
I'm sorry.
But I really miss her because she was such a darling. And that didn't mean that we saw everything eye to eye, because we're individuals. And we didn't talk about each other. You know, some people, you know, every time you talk, you see they'll run each other down. You should be around my maid.
That's very common, right, Pastor?
Yes, it's terrible.
Very common.
Awful, just breaks
if
your heart.
If somebody right now is looking at this video in ahomevic here in your home, what advice you will give them if they are thinking to get divorced? What is the thing that you would tell them for them to save their marriage?
Just to be big enough to admit that they may be wrong in their approach to whatever the problem was, And if you're living, people are going to have problems. We're in a world that is problem-riddled, family-wise, and we have to come, and we need to come to that place where we can just say, Lord, you know, I love you, but I just don't know what to do with my body sometimes. I don't know what to do with my thinking. I don't know what to do with my education. So please, you need to help me to redirect my life. Marriage is I decide that I'm going to share my total self with my mate. And that before you ever get married, that you reach that place of having their agreement that they will give for 100% to you, you will give 100% to them, and the first thing you know, you have just put your life
That's what Corinthians
together.
in the Bible talks about. 1 Corinthians 10, correct me if I'm wrong, it's talking about love and explained, right?
And that is love. And love is something that, you know, it's not something you put on like a salve. Love is something you have inside you, and God is the giver of that. And every person has the seed of love in their spirit. Right. It's a spiritual thing. Spiritual. It was wonderful.
Well, thank you again. We are here in Corpus Christi. Ahomevic is giving you thanks, and we see you soon, okay?
Peace.
Bye. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the interview.